What's up gamers, DreamcastGuy here, talking today about the PlayStation 5, and to be perfectly honest, I was going to take today off. I was just going to relax, I was going to finish up some stuff in Ghost of Tsushima, maybe boot up my Darth Vader PSP and enjoy some Grand Theft Auto, but now some major news has just come out that I think is really important to talk about involving this next-gen PlayStation tech. So this morning, somebody over in the UK walked into a store called Curry's PC World, and they noticed there was this very strange booth set up. Now, what this is exactly is still not known, but to most of us, this looks like a PlayStation 5 demo booth. Now, the main reason we think this is because typically, before each of the console launches, these companies, especially Sony, they love to have a demo booth, the chance to really have an in-person way to try and reveal it. We saw this with the PlayStation 3, we saw this very extensively with the PlayStation VR, and we now know that it's because Sony has a long history of being a retail store. Like, Sony is very experienced at trying to sell their DVD players, their freaking phones. Like, Sony has realized that a good key to success is not only having your hardcore gamers and your dedicated demographic, it's getting the random people who happen to have like $1,000 in their pocket and might impulsively buy your product. Well, this PlayStation 5 demo booth is very, very curious to a lot of us because it seems kind of bizarre that we now have this, and yet we still don't have a release date. We don't have a price tag. We still don't know how much we're going to be shelling out for the PlayStation 5 console. But I do think that this is a huge hint. I do think that this is a giant signifier of the fact that pre-orders are very likely coming soon. If they're getting ready for physically showing it off, I mean, at this point, we know what the system looks like. We've seen people even handling the PlayStation 5 controller called the DualSense. It now just comes down to the price. Now, a lot of us have been very, very on edge. There's been some rumors and some people trying to leak some stuff that maybe we could see the PlayStation 5 pre-orders launching very, very soon. Now, the reason people are nervous about this is because Sony themselves has come out and said that they're trying to make as many systems as possible, but because of the pandemic, they're not able to mass produce them at the same speed as would normally be done. They're not going to be able to just churn out millions and millions and millions of these things instantaneously because we're still trying to practice social distancing. We're still worrying about the worldwide health. But Sony has now confirmed that there will be, hopefully, up to 10 million consoles. But that does mean that it's not as enormous as some people would have hoped. And a lot of people, like myself, I'm worried about getting my pre-order. I want to make sure that I'm first in line and I have that thing day freaking one. I don't want to be on shipment 2. I don't want to be the second wave of PlayStation 5s. I want to make sure that I have my PlayStation 5 day 1. So because people keep spreading these rumors about possibly doing just a shadow drop of just randomly dropping the PlayStation 5, Sony has finally revealed an official statement. There was this guy named Eric Lempel. Well, just a couple days ago, he was talking to Jeff Keighley over at Summer Games Fest, and he said these exact words, which I wrote down here. We'll let you know when pre-orders are going to happen. It's not going to happen with a minute's notice. At some point, we'll let you know that you can pre-order the PlayStation 5. Now, that definitely puts my mind at ease. So it's definitely not going to be a shadow drop. We're going to have a little bit of warning. And I definitely assume that it's going to be relatively soon because of these demo booths. Already, I'm actually pretty hyped about the idea of these demo booths because it will be cool. Like, honestly, one of the things I want to do is to try and go to this. As soon as they set this up, if there's like a safe way to play it, I definitely want to try and register to go try it. It'd be really interesting to get a chance to play the PlayStation 5 before it's fully out. It'd be nice to get a chance to sit down with Spider-Man Miles Morales and play it maybe a month or two before its official release. The only real concern now is definitely still just with the production. I know a lot of people are kind of excited, but still kind of just, well, worried about not getting that pre-order in time. It seems like, so there is like this store page for the PlayStation 5 that people have discovered. You can scroll through it and it doesn't have a lot of information. It's definitely what they call a placeholder. It just exists so they have a spot to put the actual storefront later. And people have been digging through the code because they're incredibly bored and incredibly curious, and they've noticed that inside of the code there is an error message where if you try and buy more than one console, it will block you. It'll actually stop you and only let you buy one, which to me kind of screams the fact that Sony themselves is worried about selling out. And hopefully this means that they're trying to stop scalpers, because god dang, I feel like we've been dealing with this a lot less recently. Over the course of the last couple of years, the scalpers have kind of gotten away from gaming again. But the thing that drives me the most insane when it comes to these console launches is when some jerk who has like $30,000 in his bank account and wants to try and double it goes and buys out some new next-gen tech and then sells them on eBay for like $1,000 a piece. Those people are jerks down to their very core. I don't even see that as being an entrepreneur. You're just being a freaking vulture to gamers. But what do you think? Are you curious as me as about this like PlayStation 5 demo booth? Are you nervous about those PlayStation 5 pre-orders? Hopefully this thing doesn't cost $700 or something insane, because I'll just tell you straight up, I don't have $700 to spend on a console right now. And especially if it's one of those pre-orders where you have to put the entire price down day one, hopefully it's something that's not that. But tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. We're getting ever closer to that big 200,000. But do me the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming. Oh man, I had to film this video twice because somebody keeps standing outside my window and just yelling randomly, because that's a great use to do with your time. Boop! Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, you know, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.